Hello, and I think I'm live. Yes, I'm live. बाहर कोई कुत्तों की आवाज़ आ रही है, उसको इग्नोर करना है, मैं कुछ कर नहीं सकता, कुत्ते कुछ लड़ रहे हैं। एंड हेलो एंड वेलकम टू द सैटरडे नाइट लाइव स्ट्रीम। ये हमारा सेकंड लास्ट लाइव स्ट्रीम है। हमारा जो लास्ट लाइव स्ट्रीम होगा वो 28 तारीख को होगा, यानी अगले सैटरडे। उसके बाद एज आई हैव मेंशन्ड प्रीवियसली, ये चैनल एक हाइएटस पे जाने वाला है और यूट्यूब को यही टाइम मिला था नए नए कूल फीचर लाने का लाइव स्ट्रीमिंग में। एक नया फीचर आया है गोल सेट करने का, मैंने उसको टेस्ट करने के लिए एक लगाया है 15 सुपर चैट का। जिसको सुपर चैट भेजना है वो भेज सकता है, जिसको नहीं भेजना है वो मत भेजो, मतलब डोंट फील अंडर प्रेशर। बट अगर इस चैनल के फ्यूचर के बारे में आपको नहीं पता तो मैं बता दूं कि अ, ये चैनल दिसंबर 28 को लास्ट अपनी लाइव स्ट्रीम करेगा। उसके बाद कम से कम 3 महीने तक का हाइएटस ले रहा है, क्योंकि मैं एक प्रोजेक्ट में बिज़ी हूँ। इस सब के बारे में मैंने ज़्यादा डिटेल में बात की है अपने एक दूसरे वीडियो में, जो इस चैनल के मेन पेज पे आपको मिलेगा, सबसे ऊपर पिन हुआ है। और उस वीडियो को देख लीजिएगा, समझ लीजिएगा। अगर आप इस चैनल के मेंबर हैं, पेइंग मेंबर हैं, तो आई वुड रिक्वेस्ट दैट यू बिकम अ मेंबर ऑन माय मेन यूट्यूब चैनल व्हिच इज़ youtube.com/@vimo। एंड मैं वहाँ पे छोटे-छोटे वीडियो डालता रहूँगा, पर लाइव स्ट्रीम्स अभी के लिए बंद हो रही हैं। आज लाइव स्ट्रीम होगा, अगले सैटरडे भी होगा, पर जनवरी ऑनवर्ड्स लाइव स्ट्रीम नहीं होगा। ये चैनल एक हाइएटस पे जा रहा है। सो मैं जो हमेशा बोलता हूँ, मुझे सपोर्ट करने के लिए इस चैनल का मेंबर बनिए, वो नहीं बोलूँगा अभी, क्योंकि मैं नहीं चाहता कि आपको मेंबर बनने के लिए बोल दूँ और फिर मैं 3 महीने तक लाइव स्ट्रीम करूँ ही नहीं। पर अगर आप मेरे दूसरे काम को, यानी मेरी राइटिंग को, मेरे दूसरे यूट्यूब चैनल को, मेरे पॉडकास्ट वगैरह को सपोर्ट करना चाहते हैं, तो तो पेट्रियन पर सपोर्ट कर सकते हैं। patreon.com/vimo पर जाकर मंथली मेंबर बन सकते हैं या एनुअल मेंबर बन सकते हैं, दोनों ही हेल्प करता है। मैं वहाँ पे अपने पॉडकास्ट के एपिसोड्स के अर्ली एक्सेस देता हूँ और यूट्यूब के वीडियोज़ के भी कभी-कभी अर्ली एक्सेस देता हूँ। मतलब चैनल पे जाने से कुछ दिन या कुछ हफ्तों पहले भी कभी-कभी मैं उसको पेट्रियन पे डालता हूँ। सो इफ यू थिंक यू विल एन्जॉय दैट, देन बिकम अ मेंबर ऑफ द पेट्रियन पेज, patreon.com/vimo, VIMOH। एंड हैविंग सेड दैट, आज का लाइव स्ट्रीम शुरू करता हूँ, कमेंट्स पढ़ता हूँ। बाय द वे, सुपरमैन का ट्रेलर देखा क्या? नए वाली फ़िल्म का? क्या व्हाट डू यू गाइज़ थिंक ऑफ इट? Santosh Kumar, will you take calls? Santosh Kumar, no, I haven't been taking calls for quite some time now. I thought by now it is public knowledge. SS, thank you. Neeraj says, what do you do for fun? You always look so serious. I have lots of fun. I watch films, I read books, I talk to my friends. Uh, एक चीज़ ना जो आपको यूट्यूबर से एक्सपेक्ट नहीं करनी चाहिए, वो ये है कि आपको यूट्यूबर से ये एक्सपेक्ट नहीं करना चाहिए कि आपको जो दिख रहा है एक यूट्यूब चैनल पे, वो उस यूट्यूबर का पूरा लाइफ़ या पूरा पर्सनैलिटी है। उस दरवाज़े के पार भी एक दुनिया है। इस लाइव स्ट्रीम के पार भी एक दुनिया है। मेरी लाइफ़ है, मेरे फ्रेंड्स एंड फैमिली हैं, दूसरी चीज़ें हैं जो मैं करता हूँ, जिसके बारे में आपको कुछ चीज़ों के बारे में पता है, कुछ चीज़ों के बारे में नहीं पता है। आई हैव एन एंटायर लाइफ़। सो just because I look a certain way on this channel doesn't mean that is what I am everywhere. So don't think that. Agnostic Atheist says, Sir, please start posting some videos about contemporary politics as well. I love to listen to your views about Indian politics. Yeah, I will. On the main channel, whenever I feel like making one, it'll go there only. Also, what are your views about ongoing political scenes, especially those which happened in the parliament? BJP MPs got violent and took lathis in their hands. Nothing new. असभ्य और अभद्र लोगों के कल्चर से तुम क्या उम्मीद करोगे? ये लोग यही करेंगे। दैट्स व्हाट दे आर। दिस इज़ देयर पोटेंशियल, दिस इज़ देयर अपर लिमिट ऑफ देयर पोटेंशियल। मैं कई बार बोल चुका हूँ ये। अगेन इस लाइव स्ट्रीम का तो ये है कि जो भी मैं बोल रहा हूँ मुझे आजकल लगने लगा कि मैं पहले बोल चुका हूँ। बट या दिस इज़ इट। वी शुड नॉट बी सरप्राइज्ड दैट दीज़ पीपल एक्ट इन अ सर्टेन वे। दे आर क्रिमिनल्स, दैट इज़ हाउ दे विल एक्ट। Soumya says, Sir, can you please tell me how much share Kadak Merge gives you in percentage of every product? Sir, I don't remember, but I don't make much money from Kadak Merge. It's for fun. It's there. Uh, when I started, even I didn't have high hopes, but most people, I don't know who's making a lot of money from merch. Maybe there are people, I'm not that smart, but the merch is there. I sell maybe 2 t-shirts a month and I make a few hundred rupees from it. It's not much. Most of the money still comes from, members and Patreon and everything. Modi Shah has turned on dictator mode, as Meghnad said in his latest video. I feel so scared that what steps Modi Shah will end up taking in order to just stay in power. They have always been on dictator mode. उनका कौन सा mode है और? What other mode were they ever in? They were always in this mode. Right now, like if you corner an animal into a corner, a dangerous wild animal into a corner, right before you trap it, it'll take a swipe at you, right? So this is that. बीजेपी 240 पे आ गई है, इसको डेस्परेट है, कुछ ना कुछ तो करना है, बिकॉज़ they are looking at their hold loosening over everything that they had held on to, and that is why they are acting this way. Glinting Lord says, "What do you think will be worse, a completely Darwinian society where might is right, or a utopian society where everyone is completely moral and robotic?" I cannot imagine a utopian society where everyone is completely moral and robotic. I don't think that would be a utopia. What kind of a utopia it is where people don't have the ability to choose or express emotions? As far as Darwinian society is concerned, no, I don't think society should be Darwinian. I think that uh, that is a terrible idea. I think I remember even Richard Dawkins saying once that he doesn't think society should be Darwinian. But, you know, there it is. MK says, "What do you think? What I think of atheism is an atheist. I'm telling you, it's just against religious belief system and their teachings and all that stuff." Okay. MK, it's just that it's a name given like atheist or atheism to people who are not religious. Some people do use the word atheist to simply imply that they're not religious. However, other people use other definitions. I'm glad you told me yours. Anyways, I had to ask you one question. Do you think all communists are good and all capitalists are bad? No, I don't think so. MK says, I feel like let's be sensible. They're not just two sides of a coin. There is also an edge. So we need to hear both sides and come to an agreement that both sides has its own pros and cons. Sure. I hope you have these conversations with people and you come to a conclusion. I don't think all capitalists are bad. I don't think all communists are good. That's not at all my position. By the way, guys, audio okay hai, I hope. OPEC says, सर मैं हिंदू चैनल पर गया, वो बोलता है हिंदू सोया हुआ है, और मुस्लिम चैनल पे गया, वो बोला मुसलमान सोया हुआ है। तो उठा कौन है? मोदी जी चौकीदार। ये बहुत पुराना टैक्टिक है बाय द वे। जब भी कोई डिक्टेटर किसी सोसाइटी को फाशिज्म में धकेलने की कोशिश करता है, तो हमेशा कहता है, हम लोग सदियों से सोए हुए हैं, हमारे जागने का समय आ गया है। ये बहुत पुराना टैक्टिक है। जितने भी फंडामेंटलिस्ट हैं, वो यही कहते हैं, हिंदू को जगाना है, मुसलमान को जगाना है, क्रिश्चियन को जगाना है। अलार्म घड़ी की दुकान खोलो सालो। और कितना जगाओगे लोगों को? ये जो जगाने वाली चीज़ है ना, दे वांट टू रेडिकलाइज़ यू, दे वांट टू टर्न यू इंटू वायलेंट मर्डरर्स। But they can't say that, right? They can't say, "Go forth and commit murder because I'm too much of a chicken shit. I will send my children to Harvard while your children do the hard work of becoming rioters and sadak chhap gundas." They can't say that. So they try to put it in different language. वो ये कहने की कोशिश करते हैं, हम तुम्हें मर्डरर बनने को नहीं बोल रहे हैं, हम तुम्हें जगा रहे हैं. It's the same thing couched in slightly more inspiring language. Yuvraj says hello, sir. Hi, Yuvraj. Taranga says hello. Hi, Taranga. OPEC says, okay, OPEC से पढ़ लिया. Bhaiya, I am a JEE aspirant. What do you think is a better to do studies in India or abroad? Just asking your opinion. I don't know, man. I don't know anything about JEE. If you want career advice, मुझे लोग मेल भेजते रहते करियर एडवाइस के लिए. मैं बोलता रहता हूँ मुझे पता नहीं तुम्हारी फील्ड के बारे में. एंड वैसे भी मैं एक करियर काउंसलर नहीं हूँ. हमारे जो लॉजिकल आयाम भैया हैं, रवि, he does career counseling. It's his profession. He charges money for it. Please go to him and book a session with him and speak to him. Amit says, do women really practice social hypergamy? I don't know what that means. Langurex says, hello. Hello. Dhruvalization says, sup, Vimoh. Hi, Dhruv. Vinayak says, I saw your video. Those are very good, up to the mark, and very much proof-based. Thank you, Vinayak. I don't know which videos you're talking about. इबादत सेज, विमो जी 3 महीने के लिए ध्यान पे बैठने जा रहे हैं. युवराज सेज, क्वेश्चन सर, आपका न्यूज़ लॉन्ड्री का टिप्पणी सीरीज पर क्या व्यू है? आई लाइक इट. आई लाइक इट. ध्रुवलाइजेशन सेज डाउनग्रेड है. किस चीज़ का डाउनग्रेड है? बाबू सेज, विमो व्हाट्स कुकिंग गुड लुकिंग वाचिंग अमित भाई इन पार्लियामेंट? नो सर, अमित भाई इज नॉट वर्थ लुकिंग एट. Let's reason says, is it possible to send you money order? I don't use UPI etc. Money order. आजकल लोग भेजते हैं क्या मनी ऑर्डर? आई डोंट नो. Barnali, thank you for the 200 rupees. Do you think that rape laws, sexual assault laws, domestic violence laws should be gender neutral? Because these crimes are absolutely not gender neutral, but disproportionately gendered against women. I'm not sure. I think that there is a case to be made for a slightly altered application of these laws. But I agree with you that when we say domestic violence, is usually the woman who's getting to be the victim of the domestic violence. I think this question should probably be posed to someone who's a lawyer. Mm, Let's Reason says, I'm skeptical about Superman. I love Dexter though. Okay. Hey Vimoh, what do you think about the popularity of Warhammer 40k? I am not really in the Warhammer fandom. I'm sorry, I can't say anything. I had a friend who told me about Warhammer 40k. I asked him, what does the 40k stand for? And he said, it is happening in the year 40,000. And I kind of zoned out at that point. But what is the reason? What is the need for putting something in the year 40,000? Like, what are you afraid of? What if it was the year 4,000? What do you think was going to happen? Like, the year 4,000 will come and people will say, हाँ यार ऐसा तो कुछ भी नहीं हुआ. So you straight away go to the year 40,000. मैं जब स्कूल में था मैंने एक कहानी लिखी थी which was happening in the year 7 which was happening in the 73rd century, and my friend pointed this out कि ये थोड़ा ज़्यादा नहीं हो रहा है 73rd century में क्यों जाना तेरे को. Like, if human society is still there, if people are still there and wars are happening and factionalism is happening, I would hope that by the year 73,000, people don't exist anymore, that we have become something greater than us. I don't know. But then again, this is 40,000. I'm basically criticizing Warhammer for the same thing I did. Sir, now are you living in Odisha? Soumyaranjan Pandey, please don't ask personal private questions and don't share your personal information also. Babu Moshai says, you can practice too if you like. If you like Amit, what? Uh, Trailer was amazing. Superman, says Rushang. Okay, Rushang liked it. Soundtrack काफ़ी अच्छा था सुपरमैन का. Vinayak says, that was Say My Name. Vinayak says, but I feel proving that there is no God or saying there is no God is very easy compared to proving one. Yeah, I mean, it's not even, it's like, is this a scissor? Yes, because it's an object that I can hold, I can examine, I can come to the conclusion that it meets every criteria created by the definition of a scissor. So I can say it exists. It's not like I'm choosing to say it exists. It's not like I can just switch off and say, maybe it doesn't exist. It's right here. So कुछ लोग पूछते हैं कि एथिस्ट होने का फ़ायदा क्या है? मतलब इट्स नॉट अबाउट फ़ायदा नुकसान. व्हाई आर यू ऑलवेज़ अ धंधेबाज व्हेन यू आर लुकिंग एट दीज़ थिंग्स? It's about what is apparent and what is not. It's that simple. Bardali says many men's rights activists are claiming it after Atul Subhash case. Many of them didn't bother to read his open letter justifying all types of gruesome violence against women. Yeah, he was an. I have been informed since then that he was a terrible person, and it doesn't matter what the men's rights activists are saying. The men's rights activists of this variety want you to think a certain way. And the fact that you are raising that question here is proof that they are succeeding. They want to inject this into the discourse. Just because they're saying it doesn't mean you have to repeat it. Meghna, thank you for the 200 rupees contribution for the destruction of the universe. Thank you, sir. Thank you. Liam says, sir, I have a question. What are your thoughts on those Hindus who say that their religion is the oldest and everyone was Hindu in this world? It's nonsense, obviously. Their own like religious scriptures don't contain the word Hindu. So clearly, it is related. It is a like the books that the Hindus say are sacred to them. They don't call them Hindu. So clearly, whatever is being described as Hindu right now came along much later. And there are some people who call it Sanatan Dharma or something, but there is no such thing as an eternal religion. Forget Hinduism, Islam, Christianity, कोई भी religion eternal नहीं है, because human beings, human civilization, human culture and language is not eternal. We know when it arose. We know what the world was like before that. In the beginning, everyone was Hindu is like saying in the beginning, everyone was Muslim, or in the beginning, everyone was Christian. There are Christians who say this too, by the way. There is a thing that some Christians talk about called original monotheism. They say originally everyone was a monotheist. There are many Muslims who jump on it also. ये फटे हुए ढोल हैं, जिनको हर धर्म का व्यक्ति ये हमेशा बजाता रहता है। इनका एक्चुअली कोई पॉइंट नहीं है। दिस इज़ अ वन अपमैनशिप गेम। मेरा क्लब तेरे क्लब से ज़्यादा पुराना है। दैट्स ऑल दिस इज़। इट्स कंप्लीट नॉनसेंस। Nandi says, Vimo, how to break bad habits and Vedang says, why have you put Agami on hold? I have not put Agami on hold. It's just that Agami is now at agami.com. Go to aagaami.com and you'll find it. The newsletter, it was duplicating, right, on Substack as well as on the site. So I've just taken it to the website. Agami is at agami.com. Thank you, Vedang, for the 40 rupees, by the way. Abhinav says, I read Atul's writings. That man was deranged, clearly. Mm, Babu Moshe says, Bernali alone will help Vimo destroy the universe. Amia says, Hi Vimo, I have watched the video you put up this morning about the importance of physical books. Immediately, I thought about the lack of public libraries in India. Yes. I mean, I don't know if there is a lack of public libraries. There is definitely a lack of public libraries where I am. And I think libraries need to be better funded. Maintaining a library is not going to take you as much money as maintaining a stadium is, but I doubt they get that much money. I think I think the government can subsidize libraries. It can subsidize open reading spaces that are nice, comfortable, colorful places where people can go read. Hopefully, places like I was watching some kind of a video or documentary about libraries in America, and it turned out that a lot of them have just become laptop cafes. People go there, connect to the Wi-Fi, and work, which I suppose is a function of a library. But still, I think we need many, many small, well funded, nice, comfortable libraries across our urban landscape. And that's a thing worth doing. Bernali, thank you for another 200 rupees. I have a question. Should we by default deem all the 9 allegations of his wife to be all fake because he committed suicide? Is that fair? What is your take, Vimo? I had an argument with my friends. Bernali, I'm not really completely aware of all the details of this case, but I don't want to comment on the legality of this matter without knowing many details. But if the question is to be taken as a hypothetical, just because someone committed suicide, does this mean all the allegations against them were incorrect? No, clearly not. But yeah, I don't know the details of this case. I deliberately didn't go into it because it was making me deeply uncomfortable. I know you all have been immersed in it, but I don't want to comment on it without knowing a lot of details. As you all know, for the last few weeks and months, for the last few weeks at least, I have been very, very involved in my own project. So I have really not taken the time to go into it. Mm, hmm, hmm. MK says, I'm also writing an ebook on unschooling, which is the philosophical opposite of schooling because learning is not happening well in schools. Well, there can be multiple opinions on it. There are some schools which can, you realize you can have a school with a better system. Meghnad says, also looking good, Vimo, facial hair for the win. हाँ, तुमको तो अच्छा लगेगा ये मिस्टर फेशियल हेयर. You are the Einstein of facial hair. I'm growing this because it's year end and uh, I don't know why I mean, I'm maintaining it also a little bit. I don't know if I'll grow it into a full beard like yours. But मेरी प्रॉब्लम ये है कि आई वांट टू हैव अ बियर्ड बट कुछ दिनों बाद मुझे खुजली होने लगती है एंड देन आई गेट फ्रस्ट्रेटेड एंड आई कट इट ऑफ एंड आई होप this time the khujli can be warded off for longer periods of time. Zeus says, Vimo, will India ever going to qualify for all in 1000? What? Will India ever going to qualify? Oh, sorry, ever going to equal for all in 1000 years? Hopefully. I don't know what is going to happen any more than you do. If you're asking my opinion, I don't. I don't know what is going to happen, but I definitely hope that it does happen. Jyoti Kumari, thank you for the 200 rupees. Really appreciate it. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Dhruvalization says, if we take those Hindus' words, then traditionally we're all Unga Bunga people who did not even have basic vocabulary at some point. I don't know what you mean by unga bunga. Sounds slightly, uh, let's just say, strange and and avoidable. But we could all say we were all amoeba, right? दुनिया के सारे जर्म्स हिंदू हैं। अरे क्या कोरोना वायरस हिंदू है? ओपेक से सर अपना वो वाकया बताओ जब आप थीस्ट थे और बहुत सा सबसे ज़्यादा डेयर था। आई डोंट नो व्हाट यू आर आस्किंग। अ, कोई ऐसा वाकया बताऊँ तब का जब मैं थीस्ट था और भूत से सबसे ज़्यादा डरे थे? नहीं, मैं भूत से कभी नहीं डरा था। मैं जब थीस्ट भी था मुझे भूत से डर नहीं लगता था। भूत नहीं होते यार, इट्स अ रिडिकुलस नॉनसेंस क्लेम। और थीइज़्म का भूत के साथ क्या रिश्ता है? ऐसे कई एथीस्ट हैं जो भूत-प्रेत को मानते हैं यार। आई मीन नहीं मानना चाहिए बट हैं ऐसे लोग। डिपेंडिंग ऑन द डेफिनिशन ऑफ एथीइज़्म, देयर आर सम पीपल हू से आई डोंट बिलीव इन गॉड एंड देन देयरफॉर दे आर एथीस्ट, बट दे बिलीव इन भूत-प्रेत, कर्म, एस्ट्रोलॉजी, अ होल लॉट ऑफ नॉनसेंस। Mithil says Hindu is a modern invention of colonialism. Prior to that, there were so many local gods and Hindu sects. Burger says Shweta made video on Atul's case. I don't know what to say anymore. I have not watched any video on Atul's case. I know what I have read in the newspapers, and that's it. Stream Element says don't forget to hit the like button. Yeah, Stream Elements फिर से आ गया. MK sir, do you think there is hope or leaving this abomination of a nation the best choice? MK, that is a decision you have to make for yourself. Uh, for people of a certain financial background, it is possible to think about leaving the country. There are many who can't. So maybe you and I can dream about leaving India. I don't dream about leaving India. But if you do think that your personal life is going to be better as a result of living somewhere else, who am I to tell you not to do so? By all means, do what makes you happy. Royal Illustrator says, what will it take for India to move from potential to action? Like what? Potential of what? I mean, we had the potential to be fascistic. We are clearly entering the action phase. Is that what you meant? Like, what are you talking about when you say potential? Potential of what? Hmm. Jay says, I can't help but notice the expectations we have from the service workers in India, waiters, sales workers. Dignity of labor is unheard of. I think it comes from Brahmanism. Yeah. Uh, so, whenever I point out that certain behavioral patterns in our life come from the caste system, people point out, ये तो अमेरिका में भी होता है, वहाँ तो caste system नहीं है. And my response usually is, दो लोगों को सेम बीमारी अलग-अलग कारणों से हो सकती है. You are sneezing because you got a cold because you were out in the rain. Someone else is sneezing because they got pollen in their nose. The result is the same. You're both sneezing. So, when we talk about casteism creating classism in India, it is a completely valid point. When we talk about classism existing in other parts of the world, that is also a completely valid point, even though they don't have the caste system. It happens there because of something else. So, yeah, I completely agree with you. We do not have dignity of labor. Like you will find completely well educated people who will say things like who'll use phrases like the gali starting with c or street shitters or stuff like that. Where is it coming from? It is coming from a very poor upbringing. It is coming from a family where this child was taught that people who have less money than them are actually bad people, that being prosperous is somewhat an indicator of moral qualities. So yeah, it definitely comes from caste in India. Say my name says, have you read The Human Zoo by Desmond Morris? No, but I've heard of it. I hope to read it one day. There was a documentary about it, right? No, that was about the male and female bodies. Anyway. Mahin says, someone, scriptures contain facts that couldn't be known to humans before, therefore God, the creator, gave the knowledge. Me, gives example of Egypt's pyramids. Yeah. And by the way, that sentiment is also just a plain assertion. How do you know it could not have been known by people at that time? Maybe it could. Maybe they had ways. Dhruv says there are public libraries, just not funded enough. Yeah, there are. I think part of it should also be publicizing libraries. Like I want to see hoardings about libraries. Hey, it's Sunday. Why don't you come? spend your day among books, right? How often do you see ads for libraries? सो फंडिंग मतलब लाइब्रेरीज को पॉपुलराइज कर, लाइब्रेरी को मेंटेन करने के लिए ज़्यादा पैसे देना और उनको पॉपुलराइज करने के लिए भी ज़्यादा पैसे देना, ताकि पीपल हु कांट अफोर्ड टू रीड बुक्स, पीपल हु कांट अफोर्ड टू बाय बुक्स कैन गो स्पेंड टाइम एंड रीड बुक्स. And also by the way, I would love if libraries did not have Wi-Fi and banned phones. That would be good, I think. But then again, it might have other effects. Ninad says, how do you reconcile the search for meaning in an indifferent universe with the idea that meaning is created through human experience and perception? What is there to reconcile? I'm a human, I live in a meaningless universe, therefore I'll make some meaning. I don't see any need for reconciliation there. It's completely compatible. Like, unless you're pointing at something that I'm not getting. MJ thinks, hi, just wondering to ask this for a while. Since you are a socialist, what is your opinion on Shark Tank as a reality show? It's good entertainment, but even Shark Tank doesn't work the way you guys think. It's not like you go present an idea and they just give you the money. They buy a stake in it, right? And after that, I know of one company which went on a show like this, not Shark Tank, some other show, long time back, and they went to raise funds. They raised funds, but they basically got a boss, and then the joy kind of went out of them. They were like a small company, very passionate about the project, but they got money. The company got a bigger office. They got the money to do the things that they wanted to do. But the person who invested became their boss, and they took the company in a direction that these guys didn't want to, and they couldn't do anything about it. So yeah, think twice about the rosy pictures presented before you as capitalist entertainment. Babu Moshai says, Burger, don't bother with Shwetab. He has a lot of troubled opinions. Mithil says, Glinting Lord, you know what you did, man. Please don't argue. Listen to the mods, guys. Mohin says, IIT Dhanbad, there are 12 malls in my town with all the facilities and one library. Where now insects feed on the books? Dhruv says, I don't think we should connect to public Wi Fi networks. JEE says, uh, what do you guys mean by that Atul Subhash case? Can anyone reply to me and tell the truth? Guys, please, जिस चीज़ को गूगल करके पढ़ सकते हो ना, उसके बारे में चैट में सवाल मत पूछो. The information is available. There are news articles. Please search, find. Hmm. ओपेक से सर एक मेथोलॉजी का हिसाब से अगर आप नो इमोशन का बनता हो तो आप गॉड बन जाओगे हैं. Vedang says, Agami, your science fiction videos. Oh, I just haven't read anything since the last book. That's all. So I make it a point. So Agami is a series of videos on my main channel, Hindi mein, where I talk about science fiction and fantasy books that I've read. And I have kind of started reading some non-fiction. And whenever I read my next fantasy novel and I like it, I'll make a video about it. वैसा कुछ नहीं है. I mean, बगैर पढ़े क्या डालूँगा उस पे? उस पे जो भी डाला है, पढ़ने के बाद ही डाला है ना. So right now I'm kind of reading non-fiction, and I don't know what I'll do with that. Maybe I'll make videos about it, maybe I won't, I don't know. But I have some very nice fantasy books waiting, and I'll read them in 2025, and more videos will definitely come. MK says, how do Chaddis think that Goras respect us when Gora vloggers are coming and openly roasting us? I don't know. Or is this that India के प्रति racism वाला thing? ये कुछ बड़ा हो रहा है क्या? बहुत ज़्यादा लोग इसके बारे में बात कर रहे हैं. Royal Illustrious says, Royal Illustrious says, कहाँ गया? अपने पास को. Sorry, Gunduchi, thank you for the 29 rupees. Appreciate it. Token of non-appreciation. Poseidon, you are cancelled. किसकी बात कर रहे हो भाई? MK, thank you for the 40 rupees. Do you think leaving this abomination? Okay, already read that. Dhruv says, Vimoh, the problem with libraries is that many people don't properly take care of books or return them on time. Oh, yeah, that's true. But that's a management issue, not a reason to not have libraries or not have funding for libraries. Shreya says, sad to see you go, Vimo. Shreyas, I'm not going. I'm just ending the live streaming. I will still be making videos on my main channel. You can go watch there. I'll so the, there will be a few places where you can still find my content. One, my main channel. टू माय पॉडकास्ट अगर स्पॉटिफ़ाई वगैरह पे हो तो सर्च कर लो विमो आईआरएल। मैं हर मंडे एपिसोड डालता हूँ, हर मंडे एपिसोड आएगा उस पे। इट्स इन इंग्लिश एंड देन देयर इज़ यू कैन और क्या है? मेरा न्यूज़लेटर होल्ड ऑन, गो टू विमो डॉट इन व्हिच इज़ माय सबस्टैक जहाँ पे मैं पॉडकास्ट अपलोड करता हूँ, वहाँ पे ऊपर एक लिंक है न्यूज़लेटर, उस पे क्लिक करो और उसको सब्सक्राइब करो। इट्स माय ईमेल न्यूज़लेटर, वहाँ पे मैं ईमेल से एसेज वगैरह भेजता रहूँगा। हफ्ते 2 हफ्ते में 1 बार तो डेफ़िनिटली। So that's a good place to keep track of what I'm doing. Shan says Hindus celebrating Christmas, which reminds me of Britishers era, but never ever dare to wish us during Eid. We can't deny that Mughals gave us a lot. This India, there is negative factors too. Isn't it hypocrisy? It depends from Hindu to Hindu, I suppose, because I know plenty of Hindus who are very Islamophobic, but who will happily eat the biryani during Eid. एंड पीपल हैव स्टार्टेड कॉलिंग दिस आउट कि सालों पूरे साल मुझे गालियाँ दोगे सोशल मीडिया पे, कोई मुसलमान आके बोलेगा, पूरे साल इस्लाम को गालियाँ दोगे, पूरे साल मुसलमानों को आतंकवादी बोलोगे, ईद के दिन मेरे घर चले आओगे बिरयानी खाने के लिए। इतनी बेशर्मी कैसे हो सकती है किसी में? और ये लोग जो लोग क्रिसमस सेलिब्रेट करने को राज़ी हो रहे हैं ना, ये लोग वही लोग हैं जो नो कन्वर्शन करते रहते हैं। होर्डिंग अबाउट लाइब्रेरी लगता है विमो मस्त सपने देख रहे हैं। आई डोंट थिंक गवर्नमेंट्स विल एग्री बट या इट वुड बी नाइस। होर्डिंग अबाउट लाइब्रेरी? Poseidon says, what do you think of atheists who aren't materialists? Atheists who aren't materialists, like what's there to think? You guys seem to be under the impression that I have an opinion on everything. This thing, for example, I have no opinion on. If someone is an atheist and not a materialist, like what am I supposed to think about it? They're an atheist who's not a materialist. इसमें क्या है यार? What do you think of walls which have blue spots on them? I have never thought of it. Wanna be good. Mithil says, Vimo, do you think workers' cooperatives can be an alternative to a better economy? I think the sentence framing. I think what you mean is, do you think workers' cooperatives can create a better economy? Yes, I do think so. Nikhil says, felt good that there was someone who felt uncomfortable and couldn't follow it by Atul's case. Don't know why, but thanks for giving me validation. No, it makes complete sense. You need to know what happened. You don't need to be inundated by the details of it, by the devastating details of it every single day in every single social media feed. I have realized one thing about my social media work, which is that if I am going to be able to continue to do it, I cannot afford to destroy myself mentally on an ongoing basis, on an everyday basis. अगर मैं अपने गुस्से में इतना जल रहा हूँगा कि मैं ही बर्बाद हो जाऊँगा, तो मैं वो काम कर नहीं सकूँगा जो मुझे करना चाहिए। और मैं सोशल मीडिया के मामले में उस लेवल तक पहुँच गया था। It was impossible to look at this nonsense, to look at this fire, this dumpster fire 24 hours a day. You cannot do it while remaining sane. I know other content creators, Meghnad was talking about it, other people have also gone through it. It is unsustainable. So what I am going to do is that मैं जो काम करता हूँ वो तो मैं करूँगा ही, but I am going to do it in a way that is possible for me to sustain. And if that means slowing down a little, then so be it. I will have to rely on all my good online content creators to go fast when I go slow and slow down when I go fast. It is, if you are going to be in the news, contemporary affairs space, you will destroy yourself. You will destroy yourself emotionally if you continue to engage in as intense a fashion that we are often expected to. सुबह कोई डेथ हो गई, दोपहर को कहीं आग लग गई, शाम को कहीं वायलेंस हो गई, you're supposed to look at every single thing that comes into your social media feel about it. You're supposed to have a opinion about it. You're supposed to clearly express that opinion, and then you're supposed to fight off 5,000 absolute a-holes whose only job who are being paid to derange the entire to derail the entire narrative and mainstream the narrative being proposed by a poisonous political party. No human was designed to do this. Definitely not a human without a team. And I would advise that if you are a content creator, try to do it in a way that makes sure you will not be a burnt out crisp at the end of 2 years, which I most definitely became some time ago. It took me some time to get out of it. I'm still not completely out of it. Shan says Hindus celebrating Christmas already. Read that. What is the capital of America? Washington D.C. LM says I'm going to miss these live streams. LM, even I'm going to miss these live streams. I have a strange reaction these days to the live stream. I feel apprehensive about doing it, but I also feel like, oh wow, it's really ending, isn't it? It's like I go to the channel and I click on the live stream tab and I click on oldest and I see the first live stream I did and I remember how excited I was that day. I remember how nice it felt to finally have a YouTube channel of my own. It wasn't even monetized, but I had been doing live streams on Instagram and there was no really good way of doing it. And it felt really nice. And it continued to feel nice for quite a bit. But everything comes to an end, everything runs out eventually. And it is good to end things when they are going okay than wait for them to disintegrate completely and then disappear. So I would much rather have this channel here with all the content on it, and so people can come and look at all the things that we have done, all the discussions, all the debates, all the conversations that are on the channel, and hope that I can rebuild something of this on my main channel. I'm actually taking a huge pay cut also because this channel was my biggest revenue earner. So it will take me some time to get that channel there. I'm reasonably confident that I will be able to do it. But this is not an easy decision for me. But for the sake of my mental peace, for the sake of my own sanity, it's a decision I have to make so that I can go deeper on my main channel. यहाँ कोई पूछ रहा था अपनी fiction book की. Oh, sorry. Shardul says, just joined. How would you destroy the universe? How? Why would you destroy the universe? Because it sucks. That's why. By the way, Shardul, thank you for the 40 rupees. अच्छा वो कमेंट मुझे मिल नहीं रहा. जब मिलेगा तो फिर से कर लूँगा. Brain says, hey, Vimoh, I watched that video. Is this only a video where you were talking about formats of films, novels, etc. and I didn't understand anything? Can you suggest something? अब ब्रेन मुझे जितनी सिंपली समझाना था मैंने समझा तो दिया है. अभी नाउ व्हाट एल्स एम आई गोइंग टू डू इट? इफ यू डोंट गेट समथिंग लेट इट गो. It's okay to not understand it. Vimo, what does death represent and why all religious theory about death is almost the same? I made a video about it on the main channel. It's on the Dawning playlist. It was about हमारे बारे में एक असुंदर सच or something. Please go watch it. What is your opinion on Amit Shah disrespecting Ambedkar? डिसरिस्पेक्ट नहीं करेगा तो क्या करेगा वो आदमी? उसका पूरा एजेंडा जो है, जो भी उसकी उनकी पार्टी का एजेंडा है, वो अंबेडकर अंबेडकर की आइडियोलॉजी इन लोगों के गले में फँसी हुई है, जो ना निगलते बनती है, ना उगलते बनती है। आधे लोग अंबेडकर को गलत साबित करने पे तुले हुए हैं, आधे लोग अंबेडकर को अप्रोप्रिएट करने में तुले हुए हैं। कुछ लोग ये बोल रहे हैं अंबेडकर तो हिंदुओं को एक करना चाहते थे, जबकि अंबेडकर ने अपनी राइटिंग में साफ-साफ लिखा है कि ही हेटेड द रिलिजन। सो ना निगलते बन रहा है, ना उगलते बन रहा है। एंड इट वुड बी वेरी कन्वीनिएंट फॉर देम इफ पीपल स्टॉप टॉकिंग अबाउट अंबेडकर। दैट इज़ व्हाई ही सेज ना कि लोग हमें जब देखो अंबेडकर, अंबेडकर करते रहते हैं। तकलीफ हो रही है ना उनको, इसीलिए तो ये सब बोला। लॉन्ग जॉन सिल्वर थैंक यू फॉर द 100 रुपीज़। ही सेज आग लगा दो भाई, डिस्ट्रॉय ऑल। Editing Wala says, I did meditation, just focus on breath, no thoughts, and get success with it for 11 months. 1 year ago, now I don't do it, but now whenever I sit quietly, there's no thoughts in my mind. What is it? I don't know what you mean. You're saying you meditated. Now you don't do it, but whenever you sit quietly, there's no thoughts in my mind. I don't know what to tell you. I'm not you. I don't know what is happening in your head. Simple Man says cooperatives are a good start, but it ended up in brutal takeover by big corporations like in California. ट्रैक डायरी सेज व्हाट इज़ योर ओपिनियन ओके ट्रैक डायरीज़ एक चीज़ को बार-बार कॉपी पेस्ट मत करो, तुमको टाइम आउट कर दूँगा नहीं तो। टाइम आउट, टाइम आउट। हुँ, 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 हुँ। Poseidon, Vimo debunked the contingency argument in 1 minute. It works on the assumption that everything in the universe is contingent and there is no way to know it. So when you look at the universe, when you look at everything we observe in the universe and find that everything is contingent, and you come to the conclusion that everything in the universe is contingent, you're engaging in the uh, you're engaging in the fallacy that says where you're what is the name of the fallacy? I'm forgetting. I remembered it some time ago. Where you're looking at a part and concluding that the whole is exactly like the part. Done. MK says, do you think we even had a glorious past? A common Indian guy had always been poor, whether it be Marathas or Mughals or British. No, I don't think we ever had a glorious past. Glorious is very subjective. If you ask a Muslim, they will say the Mughal period was a glorious period. If you ask Kattar Hindu types, Sanghi, he will say the Mughal period was a dystopia. So glory depends on your idea of glory. If you think that something was bad, you will not call it glorious. Hmm. हाँ, I'm back. Sorry, मेरा टैब क्रैश कर गया था. Today I'm live streaming from Firefox because I recently got rid of Chrome habits and I'm now using Firefox. So I'm not still completely at home with how Firefox works. Fallacy of composition, Poseidon. Yes, got it. Yeah, that is the one. Ninad says if reality shaped by perception and consciousness emerges from the brain, can we ever know objective reality? Or are we trapped in subjective experience, unable to access deeper truths? I come to this from a position of utility. We live in a universe where there seem to be some rules that we are able to understand and use. We use them because they're useful. If they were not useful, we wouldn't be using them. So, yeah, that's enough for me. There is no need to wonder about anything else except in fantasy and science fiction, which is very cool, and I like to do it. The trouble is when you cross the line where you start thinking of that stuff as somewhat as a way to process reality, as a description of reality. Bro, I don't celebrate Christmas. We are Sanatani Buddhist Muslim. Sanatani Buddhist Muslim. अंकित थैंक यू फॉर द 40 रुपीज़ सेज़ विमो महीने में या 50 दिन में एक बार तो लाइव आना। सर अब अगर आऊँगा भी ना तो मेन चैनल पे आऊँगा। सो यहाँ पे लाइव स्ट्रीम बंद कर रहा हूँ। मेन चैनल पे जो लाइव करूँगा उसका फॉर्मेट शायद थोड़ा अलग होगा, वो मेंबर्स ओनली होगा। इसीलिए मैं आप सबसे कह रहा हूँ कि अगर आप मेंबर्स नहीं हैं, अगर आप मेंबर यहाँ पे हैं, तो यहाँ पे मेंबरशिप कैंसल करके मेन चैनल पे जाके मेंबर बन जाइए। वो चैनल है youtube.com/@vimo एंड उससे जब वहाँ पे मेंबर्स पे वहाँ पे लाइव स्ट्रीम करूँगा तो आप लोगों को पता चल जाएगा। ओके, कितने लाइव स्ट्रीम कितने सुपर चैट आए? 12 हुए 15 में से। आज यूनिवर्स डिस्ट्रॉय होने से बच गया। थैंक थैंक यू टू द थैंक यू टू द विज़डम यू ऑल आर शोइंग। आप लोगों ने आज यूनिवर्स को बचा लिया। कमिंग जनरेशंस विल थैंक यू वन डे। किसी को पता नहीं है कि इस छोटे से लाइव स्ट्रीम पे जिसको 150 लोग देख रहे हैं, जिस पे इस समय 77 लाइक्स हैं, किसी को पता नहीं है कि इस लाइव स्ट्रीम की वजह से आज ब्रह्मांड अब भी एग्ज़िस्ट करता है। अगर आप लोगों में से अगर आप लोगों ने 3 और सुपर चैट भेज दिए होते, टाइम फ्रेम के अंदर, तो मैं यूनिवर्स को डिस्ट्रॉय कर देता आज। आप लोगों की वजह से यूनिवर्स डिस्ट्रॉय नहीं हुआ। यू आर हीरोज़। एवरी सिंगल वन ऑफ यू हू डिडन्ट सेंड मी मनी इज़ अ हीरो। And everyone who sent me money, you should be ashamed of yourself. What is your opinion on the argument that consciousness is a dimension? Is that an argument or a claim? iPhone Rashid official says, "Hey Vimo, were you on YouTube when you were a right winger? If yes, can you post any kind of right winger Vimo? No, I was not. I actually joined YouTube much later. I joined YouTube in 2016, but I was the person in charge of the Epified YouTube channel. Epified, the channel Epified, I was the person behind it. I was directing it, kind of, sort of, along with my very nice team in a company called Culture Machine. I wasn't really a right winger then, but if you search for Epified, you'll find some videos that are somewhat religious in nature and somewhat even politically. Eh. So there's a video about Nathuram Godse, there's a video about Savarkar, which I didn't write, right, but I kind of directed or supervised. Okay, यहाँ पे हैं. Kalyani, thank you for being a member for 5 months. Hi Vimoh, love your work. Just wanted to know if you have any plans of organizing a meetup of members. Kalyani, वैसा कुछ plan है तो नहीं. Uh, I don't even know where all my members are, as some of them are outside India also. But if I ever have a plan like that, I'll definitely inform you guys. Long John Silver, thank you for being a member for 2 months. Thank you. I want to see the world burn. Too late. 45 मिनट्स के अंदर 15 सुपर चैट आने थे, नहीं आए. अब यूनिवर्स बच गया, अब तुम लोग कुछ नहीं कर सकते. Boy between things says, wait for 5 more minutes and you will see us destroying the Patalok and Devlok. I was watching a video. Just Cigar says, I was watching a video about encouraging people to read less self help crap books as they just repeat the same BS message and read more fiction books as they give a diverse set of messages. Yes. Not really. Listen, my problem with self help books is not that. If you're in a dark place in your life and you need some motivation, definitely go ahead, read some self help books. But do not ever think that you are coming even close to the kind of depth that fiction can provide. Which is not to say that all fiction books are deeper than all self help books. There can be a really shallow fiction book and a really deep self help book. But I'm talking generally. Fiction is more nutritious for your brain than self help is. Self help is a drug. Fiction is a full meal. It's a full nutritious meal that is also very, very tasty. Which philosophy engages to your thinking other than atheism? Atheism is not a philosophy. Atheism is a position on one question, the existence of God or not. That's it. If you lack belief in God, you're an atheist. It's not a philosophy. Which philosophy I like? I find myself drawn a lot to Stoicism and Zen Buddhism because they're not based on claims about life. They're simply based on the pursuit of meaning. Uh, Ninad says, if our thoughts and decisions are the result of neural processes, is the concept of personal identity an illusion? And are we nothing more than an ever-changing pattern of matter? We don't appear to change, right? Like when I go to sleep, I wake up the same person the next morning. So there is some unity there. I don't know why it is there, but it's there. Shreya, thank you for the 40 rupees. How right-wing ecosystem works and why it started? Shreya, that is a very, very broad question. मेरा शायद पूरा का पूरा चैनल में उसके ऊपर 10-15 वीडियो होंगे. Go to the main channel or watch some videos here also, you'll find it. And thank you for the support. MJ says, just wondering, what if something amazing happens like Vimoh sending super chats to his members randomly on his last live stream as a farewell giveaway? LOL. Nakul says, which fiction book you liked the most and your favorite author? नकुल वैसा कोई एक नहीं, मैं बहुत ज़्यादा पढ़ता हूँ। लाइक अगर मैं ये भी कई बार बोल चुका हूँ, अगर मैंने ज़िंदगी में 10 किताबें पढ़ी होती, इट वुड बी ईज़ी फॉर मी टू से व्हिच वन आई लाइक बेस्ट। पर मैंने इतना सारा पढ़ा है कि मेरे लिए ये बोलना मुश्किल है कि फेवरेट क्या है। आई कैन टेल यू सम स्टोरीज़ दैट लेफ्ट अ डीप इम्पैक्ट ऑन मी एंड आई कैन टेल यू सम ऑथर्स हू आई लाइक अ लॉट एंड आई रीड अ लॉट ऑफ देम, बट वैसा कोई एक फेवरेट बुक या एक फेवरेट ऑथर नहीं है। Sir, why Epified YouTube channel not active? Soumya, it's not active because it was not a channel owned by me. एक company था, Culture Machine. Epified was a channel run by them. I ran its creative side as an employee of Culture Machine. Eventually मैंने Culture Machine छोड़ दिया. उसके बाद Culture Machine बंद भी हो गया. तो चैनल बस फ्लोट कर रहा है अब। उस पे मतलब आई डोंट नो हू ओन्स इट, हू हैज़ द पासवर्ड टू द चैनल, बट इट्स आउट देयर। What are your thoughts on philosophy of absurdism and nihilism? I think they're philosophies. I don't really have much of an opinion on them. हील सेल्फ, थैंक यू फॉर द 100 रुपीज। सर, ऐसा क्यों होता है कि कुछ रैशनलिस्ट ओशो का अंधभक्त बन दूसरों को क्रिटिसाइज करते हैं, लेकिन ओशो की लॉजिकल फैलेसीज, बायस और मैनिपुलेशन नहीं समझते? सर, ये आपको उनसे पूछना पड़ेगा ना, मुझे कैसे पता चलेगा कि वो लोग जो करते हैं वो लोग क्यों करते हैं? मैं उनमें से नहीं हूँ ऑब्वियसली। मैं ओशो को फॉलो नहीं करता। मैं किसी भी बाबा के सपोर्ट में नहीं हूँ, इंक्लूडिंग एनी बाबा हु इज काइंड ऑफ लाइक बाबा लाइक बट नॉट रिलीजियस रिलीजियस। मुझे बाबागिरी से ही प्रॉब्लम है। दे आई थिंक दे आर इन्फ्लुएंसर्स। दे आर जस्ट इन्फ्लुएंसर्स। कोई और अपनी व्यूज़ को कैसे एक्सप्रेस करता है और क्यों करता है, इसके बारे में मैं सिर्फ़ गेस मार सकता हूँ। कुछ लोगों के बारे में मैं एजुकेटेड गेस मार सकता हूँ, जैसे पॉलिटिकल पार्टीज़, क्योंकि बहुत सारा डेटा है। कुछ लोगों के बारे में मैं उतना इफेक्टिवली गेस नहीं मार सकता और ना ही मारना चाहता हूँ, बिकॉज़ आई रियली डोंट केयर दैट मच। मैं ये थोड़ी देर पहले बोल रहा था, आप लोगों को ये नहीं समझना चाहिए कि आई हैव एन ओपिनियन ऑन एवरीथिंग। आई डोंट। सम थिंग्स आई जस्ट डोंट केयर अबाउट दैट मच। Yuvraj says, I'm 17. Nowadays, I'm becoming somewhat more rational and intellectual. But the problem with me that I am sometime becoming narcissist in my thoughts. By the way, my friend circle, because of my rationality, how to control it? If you are becoming arrogant, then you're not becoming an intellectual, are you? Focus on becoming a good human being instead of becoming an intellectual. Intellectualism, intellectualism is not a goal that should that should drive you. There are plenty of people who are intellectuals but are, forgive my language, but are fucking assholes. And there are plenty of people who are not intellectuals and are the gold standard of humanity. इंटेलेक्चुअल बनना तुम्हारी लाइफ का गोल मुझे नहीं लगता होना चाहिए। अच्छे इंसान बनो। Sir, is God an atheist? If God, that's actually a question that I think about quite a lot in fiction. कि suppose कोई God है, does God believe in God? Can't, because there is no God above God, right? Does God believe in himself? If God has self-esteem issues, if God is going through depression and does not believe he can do it, then is God an atheist? No, not really, because God at least has to believe that he exists or she exists. So it's a very cool idea that I want to explore in a story, but I don't think God exists. Is there any philosophy of coincidence? I don't know what you mean by that. Coincidence is just coincidence. इसमें मैंने कोइंसिडेंस के ऊपर एक वीडियो बनाया है, बाय द वे, मेरे मेन चैनल पे है, देख सकते हो जाके। जस्ट सर्च फॉर कोइंसिडेंस। विमो, वुड यू गो टू इंडियाज़ गॉट लेटेंट? वो क्या होता है? इफ समय इनवाइट्स यू, व्हाट इज़ दैट? कोई नया शो है क्या टैलेंट? और डिड यू जस्ट मीन इंडियाज़ गॉट टैलेंट? बिकॉज़ ऊपर वहाँ पे समय कैसे आएगा? पता नहीं। Babu Moshe says, what is the name of the person who reviews books? She made a nice video on Marcus, the Roman emperor. What is the name of the person who reviews books? There are many persons who review books, बेटा। बहुत सारे अच्छे-अच्छे चैनल हैं जो बुक्स के बारे में है। I don't know who you're talking about. Kapil Bhatia, thank you for the 100 rupees. Sir, how is following Buddhism not being theist? How can you claim to be atheist? Sir, I don't follow Buddhism. I'm just an atheist. You should ask people who are Buddhist and call themselves atheist. Maybe they will be able to give you a better answer. Zeus says, Vimo, give some fiction recommendations. Zeus, go to my main channel and watch the Agami playlist. I read fiction books and I talk about them there. I don't want to call them reviews because I'm not really reviewing books. I'm simply introducing people to the book that I really liked. So, yeah, उस playlist को देख लो. Are you reading any books these days? I'm reading Dune Messiah and Black Shirts and Reds. I'm reading some non-fiction books. One of them is, I don't know when I'll finish this. One of them is Trick Mirror by Gia Tolentino. She's an essayist. She writes about culture and society. I'm also reading Neil Postman's book Amusing Ourselves to Death, which is on that table over there, and I can't reach it. Then there is Ta-Nehisi Coates' बुक बिटवीन द वर्ल्ड एंड मी, जो कि आधा पढ़ा है अभी तक, इसको ख़त्म करने के बाद आगे पढ़ूँगा। उसके अलावा कुछ फ़िक्शन नॉवेल्स हैं, टेल्स ऑफ अर्थसी है, देयर्स अ वेरी नाइस बुक कॉल्ड अ नेचुरल हिस्ट्री ऑफ ड्रैगन्स बाय मरी ब्रेनन, वो भी फ़िक्शन में ही आता है, पर पहले मैं ये नॉन फ़िक्शन बुक्स को ख़त्म करके फिर उनकी तरफ बढ़ूँगा। 2025 में 2024 में मैंने अपना गुडरीड्स गोल एक्वायर कर लिया ऑफ रीडिंग 10 बुक्स। 2025 में होपफुली आई विल गेट टू रीड मोर देन दैट। हुँ, 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 हुँ। Who will win in the battle between Kalki Avatar and Spaghetti Monster? The one who makes a movie about it will win. No one else will win. Everyone else will just look at it as entertainment and take sides and fight each other and die. Kabir says, Sir, because of my name, sometimes I feel discrimination. Every time I have to tell them that I am not Muslim. Kabir Ahmed. Hmm. Shubhranil Das says, Vimoh, can you speak Bengali? Shubhranil, I can understand a little bit of Bengali. There are people in my friend circle who speak and understand Bengali. It's not really that hard because my native language is Odia and Bengali is very much like Odia. Not very much, a lot like Odia. Gentech sounds like an anime. Gentech says, I'd love to share an exciting idea I've been working on called the Enlightened Gen Z Academy. I think it has tremendous potential and collaborating with someone like you could be a game changer. Gentech, I have no idea what you mean by that. Feel free to email me and tell me more about it. Please don't send me an email saying, here is my number, please call me. Write in the email what you want. ये बहुत से लोग कर रहे हैं. Sorry, Gentech, if you're not going to do that. पर मैं generally सबको बोल रहा हूँ. When I say email me, I mean टेल मी व्हाट यू वांट टू टेल मी इन द ईमेल। बहुत से लोग ईमेल करते हैं और उसमें सिर्फ़ उनका फ़ोन नंबर लिखा होता है। मुझे नहीं करनी बात यार तुमसे। आई वांट टू रीड व्हाट यू हैव टू से। डज़ विमो वॉच गोर? नो, विमो डज़ नॉट वॉच गोर, विमो डज़ नॉट लाइक गोर। व्हाई एम आई टॉकिंग अबाउट मायसेल्फ लाइक शिवदत्त फ्रॉम चंद्रकांता? अ, हुँ, 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 हुँ। Dusk says, How much should emotions impact my final decision? I recently chose a path despite having a better choice just because of my emotions. Dusk, it's not about should, right? If you are someone who makes decisions on the basis of emotion, then you're going to make it. अगर मैं भी बोलूंगा emotions should not make your decisions, are you going to change? Some people do make emotional decisions, some people don't make emotional decisions. I, for example, do make emotional decisions, but I like to think that I am coming from a place of rationality. I have realized this about myself. But again, I cannot instruct you about what is the best path forward for you because sometimes the emotional decision is a good one. Shardul says, ever thought of scaling up your work, of making people more rational by aligning some of the work by Narendra Dabholkar? I try to, but aligning with them, I don't know what you mean. Like collaborating with them in the form of a YouTube thing? No, I have not done that so far. If I do it, you'll find out. पेरेंट्स चाहते हैं कि मैं क्लास 1 जॉब करूं और उसके लिए पर डे 12 घंटे पढ़ाई करूं। मुझे बस नॉर्मल जॉब चाहिए और मुझे बस बहुत सारा रीडिंग करना है एंड एक्सप्लोर करना है। पेरेंट्स को कैसे मनाऊँ भाई? फिलोमैथ, तुम अपने पेरेंट्स के साथ कैसे बात करोगे, उनको कैसे समझाओगे, मैं बता नहीं सकता। पर अगर तुम्हारा गोल है सिर्फ़ पढ़ाई करना और एक्सप्लोर करना, यू कैन मेबी गो इंटू सम काइंड ऑफ एन एकेडमिक डिसिप्लिन, right? Go into try to become a teacher or a lecturer or a professor or maybe eventually a tenured professor somehow in an area of your choosing. क्योंकि उसके बाद तुम अगर टेन्योर हो गए तो तुम इस प्रकार की ज़िंदगी जी पाओगे, पर तब तक बहुत मेहनत करनी पड़ेगी भाई। सो तुम ये करना चाहते हो, ये करने का एक ऑप्शन है, उसके बारे में रिसर्च करो, पता करो, अपने पेरेंट्स के सामने प्रपोज़ल रखो कि बोलो मैं इस डायरेक्शन में जाना चाहता हूँ और उनको कन्विंस करो कि ये अच्छा है मेरे लिए और ये अच्छा है मेरी हेल्थ के लिए, मेरे सपनों के लिए, मेरे फ्यूचर के लिए। ये तुम्हारा काम है। ओपेक्स है, सर बुक समरी सुन लो, पॉकेट एफएम में इतना क्यों पढ़ रहे हो? ओपेक्स बुक समरी से वो नहीं मिलता है जो पढ़ने से मिलता है। हमारे दिमाग को एक नैरेटिव के साथ सफिशिएंट समय बिताना पड़ता है ताकि वो एब्ज़ॉर्ब हो सके। तुम एक स्पंज को पानी के अंदर डुबाओगे, तुमको 1 सेकंड तक तो रखना पड़ेगा ना। उसको बस टच करके निकाल लोगे, तो कहने को तो हाँ, स्पंज में पानी लग गया, पर वो किसी काम का नहीं है। सो पढ़ना हैज़ वैल्यू। स्पेंडिंग टाइम एंड एफर्ट ऑन थिंग्स हैज़ वैल्यू। Hmm. Asha says, thank you so much. Thank you so very much for putting yourself on the internet. Merely being able to perceive your existence was amazing. Farewell to Vimoh Live. Take care, my friend. Thank you, Asha. Thank you, Asha. Thank you very much for saying that. Uh, Poseidon says, what if all philosophies and ideologies and morals turn out to be wrong and the true utopian ideology all along was something which was never discovered? Does that make sense? Yeah, sure. I'm actually more open to this idea than I am to every other idea that claims to be the one true answer. I made a video about purpose some time ago where I said ki we talk about the fine tuning argument, right? Where the universe was made with a plan. How do we know, even if that is true, how do we know we were the plan? How do we know Earth was the plan? Maybe the plan was something else. Maybe the plan was the dodo, which we destroyed, by the way. Maybe by killing the dodo bird, we destroyed the reason the universe exists. Maybe the plan was artificial intelligence, and we were just the method to achieve that. Like people could not exist if Earth did not exist, right? Maybe if God is there and the universe was created to create us, Earth was a stepping stone. Without creating Earth, we could not come into being. So the Earth was clearly not the plan, even though it was part of the plan. Maybe we are part of the plan, and the ultimate goal is AI. After AI comes into being, we are useless. So fine tuning में problem ये है कि sure, if you want to say the universe was designed with someone in mind, you still don't know what it was designed for. Maybe dogs were the reason. Maybe cancer was the reason. Maybe there are infinite number of universes where there is no cancer, and maybe some deity needed those universes to have cancer. And because cancer was impossible elsewhere, this universe was created so that cancer could evolve here. So I'm very open to the idea that we don't know anything and that everything we know is just mental masturbation and that we will never know what is the point. So the only thing that we can conclude as about right now, which is that we are here, you exist, I exist, we can have fun. And some days, after some time, we will die. Hmm. Shazul says, "Hey Vimo, I meant to have you follow Narendra Dabholkar's work and took ideas from what worked well and tried to implement them in your work." I mean, I have read some stuff by him. Uh, I do think that other people are following in his footsteps. I, however, am kind of not. I have my own way of doing things. I have my own plans with respect to what kind of thing I want to create. So that is what I'm working towards. Unless you are talking about something very specific, which I don't know about, please let me know. Nikhil says, thank you for the advice. I'm not a content creator and was not expecting any comment on the Atul Subhash case, not following instance. It was just to thank you for validation. Anyhow, thank you for your views. Thank you, Nikhil, and apologies if I disrespected you. एनीवे 1 घंटा हो गया है, आज का लाइव स्ट्रीम यहीं पे ख़त्म करते हैं पीपल। एक बार फिर आप सबको याद दिला दूँ कि ये लाइव स्ट्रीम का आखिरी एपिसोड अगले सैटरडे होगा। उसके बाद अगले साल जनवरी से इस लाइव स्ट्रीम का कोई और एपिसोड नहीं आएगा और कम से कम 3 महीने तक। हो सकता है अप्रैल, फरवरी, मार्च, हो सकता है अप्रैल ऑनवर्ड्स फिर से लाइव स्ट्रीम हो सकता है ना हो। अगर इसके बारे में आपको ज़्यादा जानना है तो इस चैनल के मेन पेज पे एक वीडियो है व्हिच इज़ called goodbye question mark. If you want to know more about this plan you can watch it. मैं रिक्वेस्ट करूँगा कि आप लोग जो भी यहाँ पे मेंबर्स हैं अगर आप चाहते हैं तो अपना मेंबरशिप यहाँ पे कैंसिल करके मेन चैनल के मेंबर बन जाइए। वहाँ पे 3 टियर हैं। एक इसी लेवल का, एक उससे नीचे का, एक इससे ऊपर का। वहाँ पे मेंबर बन जाइए क्योंकि वहाँ पे मैं वीडियोज़ कंटिन्यू करने वाला हूँ और हो सकता है मैं वहाँ पे बीच-बीच में महीने में 1 बार लाइव स्ट्रीम भी कर लूँ। अगर होगा तो आप लोगों को देखने को मिलेगा, अगर नहीं होगा तो नहीं मिलेगा। और इस चैनल को और मेरे दूसरे काम को सपोर्ट करने का तरीका है पैट्रियन, दैट इज़ patreon.com/vimoh VIMOH। वहाँ पे जाके आप मंथली या फिर एनुअल मेंबर बन सकते हैं। आपको मेरे पॉडकास्ट के एपिसोड थोड़ा अर्ली एक्सेस में मिलेंगे, एडवांस में मिलेंगे दूसरों के मुकाबले। Preetham says, "Hello Vimo, I'm a comic artist. I'm deeply inspired by your perspective on life and would be honored to create an illustration for your book." Preetham, that's very cool. Send me an email. My email address is in the about section of this channel, and if possible, send me a link to your portfolio also. I'll keep it in mind. अभी तो लिख रहा हूँ. When I'm done, if I feel like your style and your thing matches, then I'll get in touch. Hmm. Hmm, hmm, hmm. Yep, that's it. Cool. So, thank you everyone for coming today. Universe को destroy होने से हमने बचा लिया and I'll see you next Saturday, which will be the last episode of this live stream for some time. Until then, please take care of yourselves and good night.